For many people, the dream of racehorse ownership is just that, a dream. Historically, the preserve of the rich and the famous, the horse racing community has experienced a dramatic shift in recent years. We've been up and down the country to visit some of the industry's best trainers and luckiest owners to hear their Syndicate stories. Coming up, we take you through the very first step of racehorse ownership. There's the horse that no one wanted, who's now won over £200,000 for her Syndicate owners. We visit Quiet Reflection, the filly who scooped a Royal Ascot win for the dinner lady and the schoolteacher. And we go behind the scenes with jumps racing's most successful trainer. A syndicate is a pool of people who club together to buy into a racehorse, sharing the costs of training and, of course, the prize money. Throughout the year, various bloodstock auctions take place up and down the country, where more and more people are buying thoroughbred horses on behalf of racing syndicates rather than individuals. This is where the dream begins for many would-be racehorse owners, the Tattersalls October yearling sales. Renowned for producing some of the very best racehorses in the world, buyers will descend on Newmarket this week in search of the next star of the track. I'm joined by Harry Herbert, who's here to buy horses on behalf of Highclere Syndicates, and he's here to talk us through the very first step of racehorse ownership.
The pressure's on always, every year, to try and find that elusive group of horses that our owners can enjoy, that can hopefully run at the highest level. So today, it's all about, actually making those decisions of what you're going to bid on, have they passed all their bets, and of course, can you afford them? The shortlist is actually quite long over the next 3 days. We've done all the homework, and it really is a question of seeing them before they go into the ring. Are you still as excited about them as you were earlier on in the day or yesterday? And if you are, and everyone's happy, then you bid on and hope at some point that one or two fall through the net.
And this is the start of any auction, where would-be buyers get a first look at the horses before they enter the ring. The bidding starts here, inside the auction ring, where you can see the price of a horse quoted in guineas, which has been the standard currency for buying and selling racehorses for hundreds of years. A guinea is worth £1.05, and buyers are experienced in trading this way. So what exactly is a syndicate manager looking for when a horse goes up for auction?
Well, we know in each syndicate what the average price is of the horses that we're trying to buy for that syndicate. So we know the range that we're looking at. We could be buying horses from 70, 80,000 guineas, literally all the way up to 200, 250,000 guineas. We'd love to buy a middle distance sire, because the aspiration to try and win the Derby again would be, we're lucky enough to have won it once. We're lucky enough to have a very high percentage of our horses that have run at a level which everyone aspires to, which is running at Royal Ascot, which means so much to any owner. It's probably the pinnacle of any race meeting that an owner wants to be represented at.
Harry is well known for his role as advisor to Al Shakab Racing, where he buys horses on behalf of a Qatari sheikh. But for him, the experience of buying for syndicates can be vastly different.
The syndicate gives you options, and that's the joy of a syndicate. It's about affordability, but not giving away the quality, which I think is really important. If you can get in, you can have enormous amount of fun, and as we prove, you can race at the highest level for a lot less money than it costs to keep one horse in training. Honestly, seeing owners' faces, if they're owning horses for the first time and they have their first winner, it is absolutely magical stuff. Grown men and women, tears streaming down their face, is what it's all about. It is about this incredible emotion that your horse creates and competing against the world. It's unlike anything else. I'd be very confident that we can continue to get our owners to the highest levels. If you're coming in for the first time, sticking your toe in there, then this really is the way to do it. It's the safest way, and that you're going to feel totally involved, and you learn very quickly. It's a great learning process. It's life-changing, actually. Many of our owners say it year in, year out. This has completely changed our lives.
Over the past decade, there have been 4 Derby winners sold at the October yearling sales, and recent graduates from this very ring include multiple Group 1 winner Alice Springs, plus 2,000 guineas winner Night of Thunder. But not every horse manages to make it through the auction process. We're here in Lambourne to visit the horse that nobody wanted. So this is Mrs. Danvers, named after a character in the novel Rebecca. And like her fictional namesake, her story is just as exciting. Jonathan, she's gone from being the horse that nobody wanted to being unbeaten in all 5 starts. What a story.
The owner, she couldn't afford the training fees. This syndicate came forward, all who put down probably £500 a year, which isn't big money. And the horse has won £200,000. So, what better story? And that is very possible. The super sprint was the main plan when we found her. That was the race I wanted to run in. And the more we saw of her, the more we thought we could actually win it.
Well, Mrs. Danvers leads the line. Diablo still stormy clouds closes, but this could be a fairy tale success for Mrs. Danvers. Mrs. Danvers won the super sprint.
So for that to come off, that was the main thing. And all the races we wanted to win, she did win. No one knows how good she is as a 3-year-old. No one knows if she's going to train on, but we can just dream about that over the winter. We all hope to campaign her next year at an even higher level and hope that she can answer those questions. Hello girls, how are you?
So would she be the highest rated horse you have here?
She would be, yes. Yes, you are, aren't you?
She's got lovely temperament.
She has. She doesn't take any nonsense, just gets on with it.
Girl.
You don't need to be a millionaire. It's very easy and feasible to take a share in a racehorse for not very much money. And the potential for winning a big prize is just the same as it would be for a shake. We have a lot of syndicates here for cheap horses, people with not very much money, and invariably they have a lot of fun. We've won some big races for them. I think all our big races have been with cheap horses for syndicates. We've had a Royal Ascot winner for a syndicate. We've had Glorious Goodwood Group winner for a syndicate. It's possible and it does happen. And all an owner's got to do is find the right trainer, trust them to point them in the direction of the right horse, for the right size share to suit their budget, and leave the rest to the trainer. Each individual member of a syndicate, to me, I treat them as if they own the whole horse. One of the biggest pleasures for a trainer is to see people happy and see them get something back for all the investment they put in. So I don't mind whether there's 100 of them or one of them. I like to make people happy, and if the horse can make people happy, it's a tremendous feeling for me. Winning is great, and if you see people appreciate winning, that is extra special for us.
So that's the story of Mrs. Danvers. She's gone from being the horse that nobody wanted to being unbeaten for her syndicate owners. And her story is not uncommon. Syndicates can open up a whole new world previously considered inaccessible to most. After the break, we visit the star filly who scooped some of the biggest prizes in racing. And no, she's not owned by a sheikh or a footballer, but by a school teacher and a dinner lady. Welcome back to Syndicate Stories, and we're heading to North Yorkshire to speak to Simon Bridge and Niall O'Brien, owners of Group 1 winner Quiet Reflection, the first ever filly to receive the prestigious accolade of Cartier Champion Sprinter.
Quiet Reflection, she started to work very well as a 2-year-old when she came back from the sales. Her work got stronger and stronger. She's very laid back. It all culminated in going for the Commonwealth Cup, the 3-year-old sprint at Royal Ascot. And you saw the celebrations afterwards on Channel 4, and that was just pure raw emotion.
And there are the owners, onto a winner, Strecker and Burke, jumping all over each other. I'm looking forward to this interview. Brilliant scenes.
This is great scenes because, you know, there's so many big owners who win here all the time, but to see small owners win on the big day, it's huge.
Just sum up what it feels like to have a winner here at Royal Ascot and a Group 1 winner at that.
Well, I haven't slept for a week thinking it could happen. And you don't really allow yourself to believe it can, but for an operation like us on to winner, we've only been going 5 years. And myself and Simon dreamt up restarting up after we'd been in horse ownership for 70 years, and I said, you're mad, it's too much hassle, syndicates, but we've got a fantastic bunch of owners and they richly deserved. But to come to Royal Ascot with a syndicate horse, having paid £45,000 is absolutely phenomenal. Take on the best owners in the world here.
The appropriately named Onto a Winner Syndicate may not have the bottomless riches of Coolmore and Godolphin, but Bargain by Quiet Reflection is one of the fastest horses in training and carries their distinctive yellow and white colours. A group of 10 people invested in this horse and saw that investment rewarded when she won the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup at Royal Ascot. So what advice does Niall have for would-be owners who fancy taking on the best in the world?
A good syndicate manager will guide you. Advice is free. Ask lots of questions up front. Ask to try them out for a month. You know, ask to go racing with them and see what the experience is like. Ask to go on a stable visit. Ask to see the horse. Ask to meet the trainer and the syndicate manager. If you like going racing during the summer, a flat-base syndicate's for you. If Cheltenham floats your boat, maybe National Hunt's for you. Flat horses can run more. They can run earlier. There's as many National Hunt fixtures as there are flat fixtures.
When you've got some great trainers that can also support you and help you in buying the right horses, you know, it's you're going to get success. Our expectation is they will buy winners.
But everybody that we've got involved, and we're at about 200 owners now, I think it's the best thing they've ever done.
Certainly with horse racing, the good days are far superior to any sort of sporting event I've ever been to. There's actually no greater pleasure than to see owners' faces after a great run from the horse.
It's important for the syndicate managers to decide what will happen to the horse once their racing career comes to an end.
So it's nice not to just go racing with these horses, but to understand their families and where they came from and what are the possibilities with them. Especially with some of the nice fillies that we've got here, Maid of Honour, Seduce Me, Crown Valerie. Be really nice to breed off going forward and keep that tie in with the syndicate and the horses' families. The ultimate that you would like to breed off was Quiet Reflection, but I'm not sure I could do with the sleepless nights. Talk about expectant father. I think every time she rolled in her paddock I'd be going down to check is she okay. So maybe she's one for the December mare sale and let the real experts look after her, because that's probably what she deserves.
But Quiet Reflection isn't the only success story for the Onto a Winner Syndicate.
This was the first horse we bought at this yard, and now there's 18 here. He's won 6 times, I think. He's won a 50 grand handicap at Haydock Park. He's given us some really tremendous days out. We own this horse in conjunction with John O'Shea and Wayne Rooney. It's obviously a tremendous buzz for the syndicate members who'd bought into the horse. To dispel a myth, racehorse ownership is very affordable. For a 2.5% share in a racehorse, you get the same as a guy who owns half the racehorse. Who'd have dreamt that up, that you'd be sharing a horse with the England captain, but there you go.
Most of us have enjoyed a day out at the races, but the thrill of being there as an owner is completely different.
The excitement when you've got a runner is fantastic. You'd gather in the owner's bar, you'd meet your trainer, then you'll go into pre-parade ring, see your horse getting saddled up. The nerves are starting to go at this point. They're feeling part of the family now at this stage. All your friends, all your family have backed them. You've got access all areas on race day to paddock, pre-parade ring, and hopefully into the winner's enclosure afterwards and a complimentary glass of champagne. It feels so special to have a winner.
But a day at the races isn't the only benefit of buying into a racehorse. Many trainers open their doors to those who want a behind-the-scenes look at exactly what goes into training their horse. This is Ditcheat, once home to legendary steeplechasers Courtauld Star, Denman and Masterminded. Four-time World Hurdle winner Big Bucks was also trained here, and current residents include Silvagnaco Conti and Dodging Bullets. In terms of jumps racing's biggest prizes, 10-time champion trainer Paul Nicholls has won them all. But his most recent winner is Coastal Tiepp, owned by brand new Syndicate Ditcheat Thoroughbreds. So Ian, you set up Ditcheat Thoroughbreds. Why did you do it?
I did it because I had horses with Paul already, and I noticed up on the plaques above each stable there were more and more Syndicate names, and I thought I could do this.
Well, I think it's a good way for people to get involved. There's obviously numerous different syndicates out there. A lot of my owners now have started off, through the syndicate route.
I've got a few of my family and close friends involved, and already I've got a share in Maracuja and Kuchalas who've both won, and they've had amazing days out. And I think that's what it's all about.
We've had 8 runs and no less than 5 wins, so it's 62% strike rate. Well, I think first of all you've got to decide what you want. Do you want a jump horse, obviously, or do you want a flat horse? Do you want a staying chaser, or do you want a sprint type horse? So once you've chosen that, do you want a mare, or do you want a gelding? Once you want, that'll help you narrow it down. And then, of course, your budget. It's something you do for pleasure. Yeah. You'll love the people jump racing.
I prefer jumps racing.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah. Everybody is lovely. It's living the dream. It really is living the dream for me. And for my wife.
I mean, before I'd either ridden it or ride it out at home, or, I feed it every day, and I still do all those things. But actually to say, I own it, or I own a share in it, it means a lot.
I think it's very important to be able to let people have access to see what's going on behind the scenes and what we do. And as you say, these syndicates have open mornings and days where you can get up to 20 people. In fact, with some groups we've had up to a couple of 100 people on a Sunday morning come and have a look around.
And a lot of the racing people could just love saying, I own a horse, or I own a share in a horse. And that's what it's all about. To be able to come and see the horses at home, do all the bits that you want to do. And that'll really make it worthwhile and great fun.
Oh, that's the filly that Brian. Where's Orbassa? That one, that's Orbassa. Quilchalas, is that Major? Yeah.
On a race day, how is it different being at the races as an owner as opposed to just a punter?
Totally and utterly different. And just a different world.
I've been lucky enough, the 2 horses I have won. It's just been that extra bit of a kick because you own a share in it. It just gives you that extra dimension of it all.
Yeah, it's almost the same when you have a bet. I would imagine that, you get all very excited about your horse coming in, even if you got £1 on it and you're going to win £3, it's exciting. But as an owner, you've seen the horse training, you've watched the horse develop, and it goes out amongst this pack of horses, and it's so exciting and so scary. It's all the emotions wrapped up.
And it means you keep the video, or keep the DVD, you have a glass of champagne after, and all those little things. All those little things that, make it all worthwhile.
And to see the joy on the people's faces who have put their hands in their pockets and invested in the horse.
Has there been a highlight for you?
The highlight? Oh wow, the first time the mare ran, it won at Hereford. Lowly Hereford, restarted after about 4 years in the wilderness. We had a winner, and everyone in the syndicate was, it was fantastic. It really, really was fantastic.
I always wanted, since I've been in racing, a green plaque above one of my horse's stables because it means you've won a major race. I've never had one, and that was my ambition.
I think it's a great way for anybody to have a small share in a horse and have a lot of fun.
I just love winning, if I'm honest. If I won a Grade 1 one day, I would be the happiest man on the earth.
It's like anything, it's what you make it. You know, if you want to have fun and enjoy it, this is a really good way of getting involved in racing.
It's just the best hobby in the world.
We've had a fantastic morning here at Paul Nicholls Yard, watching the horses on the gallops and watching them being trained, and that's what a Syndicate can get you. Not only do you get the thrill of a race day, but you also get fascinating behind the scenes insight into exactly what goes in to training your racehorse. And there you have it. We've travelled the length and breadth of the country to discover some of horse racing's greatest success stories. We've heard from Royal Ascot winners to champion trainers and Syndicate managers, who all agree that win or lose, there's a world of fun to be had in racehorse ownership. From the auction process right through to race day. There's fascinating stable visits, days out at the track, and the potential to win a major sporting event. No longer the realm of the privileged elite, more and more people are entering into syndicates to enjoy the many benefits of racehorse ownership.